I started school with other girls, but then now they are married. My name is Laurie Tijani. My story began in Kano State. We moved to Lagos State. When we moved to Lagos, I was living with my parents. My parents couldn't afford my school fees, and then I couldn't go to school. I was just at home helping my mom. In 2009, I started schooling, homeschool in James Preparatory Mission School. I got to have opportunity to meet some students from RIS, Redeemers International Secondary School. They came, like, they brought books, food, and everything for us. And then they were like, okay, I should lead them to my community. And from there, I think that's when I started having interest in RIS. Mrs. Buckley was like, are you interested in being one of the students in RIS? I was like, yes, just like that. I got into Redeemers International Secondary School on scholarship, sponsorship. I started in Redeemers from JS1. And then from there, I met Mr. Ogona during the entrepreneurship, the business we started with other students in SS2. Yes. That's the first time I met him. And then the second time was during my application to African Leadership University. The first time when Mrs. Bankole told me, oh, which university do you want to go to? I was just looking at her. I was like, why is she asking me this question? Am I even allowed to go to university? Because the kind of community I come from, many girls don't have that kind of opportunity. I started school with other girls, but then now they are married. She spoke to Mr. Ugona, and he was like, I can apply to African Leadership University. That's how I got access to ALU. The process was tough, but I feel like because of the person I had, Mr. Achibe, it was kind of easier for me to get in. Mr. Agora has played a lot of roles in my life, in my growth, in my journey, because it's through his access that I got the African Leadership Scholarship. It's through his access that I was able to attend the Lead Camp 2022. There are so many things I learned there that I've never came across. One of the things is like vision board. Yes, that's my first time like hearing vision board. So we still have hopes for Girls Child, and seeing how non-government organization and other society are evolving. Girls Child are getting more access to education. To every girl out there, it is not too late to achieve your dreams. And it is not too late to start something. You can learn a skill, or you can even start a little business in that place you are. The little steps, that's what counts to the bigger ones.
My journey from Nigeria to Ghana was quite exciting, and it was relatively smooth. We traveled by air, so it didn't take too long. And as we arrived in Ghana, we were warmly welcomed by the project organizers.
My name is Hawa Abdullah Suleiman. I'm also from Nigeria.
I'm looking forward to a splendid and amazing time with you all of learning new things. Thank you. So before arriving in Ghana, I anticipated engaging with girls from different countries, and I hope to gain insights, skills, and just acquire more from everyone. My experience after meeting different girls from different countries was quite enriching. I was amazed and dazzled by the diversity in the cultures and perspective among everyone, like the way they speak their languages, and we also had an opportunity to learn how to greet in different languages. Things like passion for impacting, making positive impacts, personal growth, and driving change was a common value among all the participants. Adapting did present some challenges, and one major one was their food. I wasn't quite used to their type of cuisine, but I kind of found an alternative that suits my preferences. By interacting with different girls from various countries, I've come to understand that Africa have a lot of capable and outstanding women like myself that are capable of becoming great leaders. They just need to have like a little push and be aware of their potentials. So I think these programs like Delta Airlines, Delta Regional Lead Camp for Girls is one of these programs that can push them and make them aware of their potentials. So thank you, Junior Achievement Africa. Thank you, Delta Airlines.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to see you again here. My name is Ndepawe Jonah Kwage. I know my name is a mouthful. Everyone always struggles to call my name, but we'll leave it at that. It's Women's Month, and it's been amazing over here at in the world generally. In junior achievements, Nigeria, we've been doing amazing things, and I hope every woman out there listening to me, every man out there, I hope you'll be doing great things to the women in your life. Women will also be celebrated every year and every day, actually. So thank you so much. Quickly, we would like to start with an opening remarks by our head of marketing and communications. So, Ms. Tobiloba, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Hi,
Oh,
everyone.
awesome.
Good morning.
Good
Uh,
morning. Happy
it's a,
Thursday.
yeah. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to every one of us, and happy Women's Month as well.
Mhm.
It's very necessary to reference that, and we are so glad to have every one of us join this session today. Thank you to everyone that is joining from every location across beyond Nigeria, actually, because we have a Africa regional representative on the call, and it's going to be a very beautiful conversation. Of course, for many who don't know what Junior Achievement Nigeria is, Junior Achievement Nigeria is a fully non-governmental organization that is focused on empowering young people in the areas of entrepreneurship, financial literacy, digital literacy, and work readiness, which we sometimes call career readiness. And we're delighted to have a board company on this conversation as well, where they will be sharing more light on how they are providing support to Junior Achievement Nigeria, as well as speaking to other influences from the Access ARM pension. So we really want to say thank you to everyone that has joined this conversation today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your time. I mean, it's a Thursday where most of us are probably grappling through deliverables and all of that through our work, but we really want to appreciate everyone. And it's very necessary to, of course, identify with the significant global recognition for Women's Month. We decided to come up with One Girl, One Generation, because we have seen impact stories that have been driven to J Nigeria. I mean, J Nigeria has existed over 26 years, and so we take our flowers, and
Definitely.
delighted to have been part of significant impacts that have gone across Nigeria and even Africa as a whole. We've had successful stories of impacts that have gone and influenced more lives and communities as the case is. So you're welcome to this dialogue, to this conversation. We definitely will be getting a lot from it, and we really just want to appreciate everyone once again. Please, as always, we would remind you to let us know where you're joining us from, what you are currently also doing to impact a young girl, a woman, or as many girls that you can in your environment. So welcome on board on behalf of the staff and management, and of course the board of Junior Achievement Nigeria. We welcome you to this conversation, and we look forward to having a beautiful engagement with you all. Thank you very much, and I will move it back to Ndepawe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tobilova. I mean, it's amazing. 27 years Junior Achievement Nigeria. It's and look at the team where we're producing. It's actually awesome. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Thank you for all our guests that are joining us live from YouTube. I'm seeing some comments of people saying they can't hear the audio. IT, can we just quickly fix that, please? Thank you. And if you could hear me, can you probably maybe drop a message or give me a thumbs up in the chat? Thank you so much for all those that have joined us. I'm seeing people from all over. I'm even seeing, I'm seeing some of our volunteers on board here too. So that is awesome. Thank you so much. Quickly, without wasting much of your time, we'll start with taking an introduction from one of our very own board member. I remember the first time I saw her, I just thought to myself, wow, what a beautiful, strong woman. And I'm speaking of no other person than Mrs. Adora Ude. Mrs. Adora Ude is the Group Head Business Development, Lagos and Southwest for Access ARM Pensions. She's a seasoned professional with over 19 years of experience in pension fund administration, and her expertise spans across sales, relationship management, strategic marketing and brand communication, customer experience, and people management. I mean, no wonder we were really drawn the first time we met her. She possessed the versatility and agility to excel in various roles, constantly applying strategic approaches to optimize revenue. Currently, Mrs. Adora holds the position of Group Head, Business Development, Lagos and Southwest at Access ARM Pension. She is credited for innovation, business process design, excellence in business growth strategies, and consumer experience. She holds a Harvard certification, one that is in my bucket list, hopefully soon, and is currently pursuing a global executive MBA at the Alliance Business School, University of Manchester, further strengthening her strategic leadership and global business perspective. I mean, look at the quality of persons we have in our board in Junior Achievement Nigeria. I want to be really so surrounded by all the excellent women. So thank you so much for joining us today, Mrs. Adora, and we'll take a welcome remark from you. Over to you now, Mrs. Ode.
Thank you so much. And yes, your name is a mouthful the first time I met you. So I speak. And thank you very much for having us. And welcome to everyone who has joined us today. I expect that it will be we'll have valuable discussion around the table. It is critical that we have those conversations over and over and over again. And, if we could reach one person one more time that we have these conversations, then, it goes a long way. So I'd like to, welcome everybody to this session. And I'm hoping that we will have a very interactive session. People are asking questions, sharing experiences. You don't know who's listening. You don't know which young lady somewhere would learn from your experience. And thank you to the other panelists who are here today. We appreciate you being here, and I'm certain that these conversations today will enrich us even more. Right? We think that we're giving, but there's a lot to gain from this conversation. So thank you for having me. I've been on this board for nearly a decade now, and it has been awesome. And we're looking forward to even greater feats that we achieve together. with this partnership with Access ARM Pensions and Jan. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Ode. And it's like I said, we are really so blessed and excited to have such qualitative women serving as a board. We learn from you every day. And I just want to just ask quickly before we dive into other session, if you can share some inspiring or noteworthy references from your journey and your growth. I see now you're a group head. Whenever I see anybody's role and I see the word head there, I'm like, okay, this one is a big role. So you can just share, just throw a little light on your role and your journey with Access ARM Pension and how you're driving impacts as a board member, also in Junior Achievement Nigeria. Would love to hear that.
Thank you, MJ. My journey. My journey hasn't been one that has been in a straight line, right? It's been one that has shaped me as an individual. You're learning, unlearning, stretching myself beyond my comfort zone. I did start my career in the pension industry as a youth corper, right? And over the years, this is the only industry that I've worked in. It is a testament to how you grow within the ranks in a certain place. Now that's my journey. It doesn't have to be the same for someone else. You can find that people move from one organization to another, one sector to another, one industry to another. I have largely remained in this industry for 19 plus years, and I found that through that journey, wearing so many hats, taking on different roles, if you look at my bio, I have done different things. I started my career. I'm a lawyer by profession, but I have done business development, sales, relationship management, brand and marketing communications, human resource, believe it or not, I've done HR. And when these opportunities came, what I found that has been profound for me here to date is that it stretched me, but I showed up for that challenge. I put myself out there, I put my hand up for projects, and really projects that I saw as impactful to the organization. And I would just typically always, raise my hand because I saw value in it, because I brought myself into the process, into the business, taking ownership, from very early on in my career. And what it has done for me today, I think it's giving me that much needed agility and versatility that has become valuable. And for me right now, I find that I can talk on several topics around the table. What it does for you as a manager and head is you're not just one-sided. You're able to speak about other aspects of the business, and this is very, very valuable. For me, growth has been a very intentional one. And when I say intentional, it means that I've been staying open to opportunities. I have been consistently showing up, and having that courage to take on bigger responsibilities whenever they came up. It would never have been for lack of trying, right? And I think along the way for me, for some people, they got mentors and all. For me, I'd say it was really more of sponsorship than mentoring, right? You know how it is. A mentor will get you ready and, teach you all the things that you need to know. A sponsor, however, will open the door for you, by speaking about you in rooms where you're not able to reach. I had a lot of that in my career. And looking back, I think it's because, I consistently showed up and perhaps just put myself in the line of sight for sponsorship. And those sponsors, found me, but they didn't just find me because they went seeking. They found me because I put myself out there, right? And that has played a very, very critical role in my journey. Because leadership is really not just about rising through the ranks, right? It's about building capacity. Somebody built me, and it just behoves on me to then build somebody. You are positively influencing people We are creating a pathway for people who are coming behind you, right? And so, in a nutshell, I am at this point today because someone held the door open for me at some point. And that is what, typically one of the ethos that I live by. Because typically, it's not really about, who's in your team, who works with you, and so on and so forth. They don't have a choice. What they do have a choice is, how many people will work with you, not just for you, but with you, and they're working with you because they trust you and because you have built that influence. So that's critical. Um, Access ARM pensions, just going to dive into that a little bit right now. From being a leading pension fund administrator, we're the second largest in the industry. The organization is committed to helping individuals secure their financial future, right? Because it's pensions. But beyond that, as an institution, we're building people internally because building people enables long-term prosperity. Okay, and that philosophy for us is not just reflected in the way we serve our customers, it's in the way we develop our staff, it's in the way we develop individuals. And looking at it again, it is in the way that our core values are hinged. We're thinking about broader societal impact. And that's one of the reasons why we have partnered with Junior Achievement Nigeria for this long. That partnership clearly reflects those core values that we have. We supported, like I said, Jack, for nearly a decade now. And we're doing this by supporting programs that, equip young people with entrepreneurial skills, with financial literacy, which is very, very key for us, being a financial services in the financial services industry ourselves. Leadership skills that are very critical because those skills are what then goes on to shape the generation. We're getting a generation that is more prepared, more confident, and more capable. So for us, we're creating value within this organization, and we're also managing to contribute meaningfully to the society that we serve, and that is why we, come on this journey for this long with Junior Achievement Nigeria. Thanks, Angie.
Awesome. In fact, Mr. Dora, when you were speaking, I just felt like I was hearing a bit of, I was just absorbing because I just assumed this role as the programs lead in my organization. And I'm just taking those that, okay, I need to do this. I'm hearing sponsorship versus mentorship. I'm hearing, putting yourself out there. I'm hearing leadership is equals to capacity building because I'm leading a large team, right? And at the end of the day, what do I see my team is learning from me? I'm also hearing the concept you spoke about, getting people to work for you versus people working with you. And I think that is very, very profound because as a young lady, my career also started as a youth corper. And so when you were giving your journey, it was really resonating with me. And then when you mentioned about the difference between sponsorship and mentorship, that really rang a bell because it is not enough to just say, oh, I'm mentoring someone, but there are requirements, there are resources that are required, and that is where sponsorship comes into place. And I'm also just remembering, even with me as a youth corper, I had this mentor who was Dr. Ibrahim. Yes, I have to give him his flowers here. He didn't just mentor, he also sponsored in okay, there are courses, go and take this. So as a corper, I didn't just want to work as a corper, I was working almost like full time. And I remember I used to feel like, why am I doing too much? Because my peers then, their own work isn't that serious. They'll just go 2 hours, they're done, they pack, everybody. But if looking at the trajectory of my life and where I am right now, I am really grateful that I did put myself out there. And that was something you really mentioned because it is not enough to know so much. It is not enough to, okay, maybe have the passion. If people can see it, then it just stays with you. And then in the society that we work, people have to see the value that you contribute. And that is really, really interesting, especially for young women out there. It is almost like a common practice where women might have really strong personalities, and a lot of times they try to shy away from it and say, oh, maybe I should just stay quiet. I'm a woman, my voice shouldn't be heard. I don't do too much. Or you don't hear some women say, if you have so much money, which man will marry you? Like, I remember when I was about to buy my first car, I had that conversation. You are showing like you're doing too much. But then hearing from inspiring women leaders like you who has gone through this journey, who is still um, excelling greatly in your career, excelling greatly in home. Like it just gives hope for the young women out there. And I really love to hear that. And to every young lady hearing this, or even any young man, you might have sisters in your family, you have mentees, you have your peers. I hope we've learned like one or two things from the remarks from Ms. Adora. I have taken notes of the things I'm absorbing already, and I already feel like this webinar was meant for me because I've just learned so much in these few minutes of you speaking. So thank you so much. And also thanks to the good people of Access ARM. It is one thing to support an organization like Juno Achievement with CSR, but it's wanting to really pay attention to the core values. And whenever we knock on the door and say we want to do this, we get the support. It is really, really important. We're so grateful to have that for Access ARM. So from all of us at Juno Achievement Nigeria, we say thank you to Access ARM Pension, and thank you, Mrs. Adora, for that wonderful remarks. Okay, so I would just like to ask if there are any questions in the chat, please. The IT team, you could let me know if there are any questions before we proceed further. We're going to go in now into the panel session. And before we start the panel conversation, I'm going to quickly introduce our panelists. We already have Mrs. Adora Ode, who we have introduced as the business group head at Access ARM. The next person I would like to introduce, this is my madam at the top. Her name is Akosua Asentawa Esoman. Apologies, Madam Akosua, if I did get the name, if I didn't pronounce it extremely correct. She's Ghanaian, so permit me, I'm Nigerian. Sometimes we have our intonation. Akosua Asentewa Asome is a seasoned development professional, an NGO leader. She currently serves as the vice president of programs and board liaison at Juno Achievement Africa, hence why I say she's my madam at the top. In her role, she has driven the design and implementation of a youth-focused initiative that enhances entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and work readiness across the continent. She has over a decade of experience in grant management, program oversight, strategic partnership, and she has been very instrumental in securing funding and delivering high-impact initiatives that advance GA Africa's mission. She brings expertise in project management, strategic planning, stakeholder engagement, team leadership, ensuring the successful execution of transformative programs. When Akosua calls us, we have to answer because it has success is 100%. There is no 99, there's no 98. We always have to deliver. She was a master's in international business from the International University in Geneva, and her work is deeply rooted in creating opportunities for young Africans to develop the skills, confidence, and resilience needed to thrive in the global economy. Please join me in welcoming Akosua Asentawa Osoman. Thank you for being here with us, Akosua.
Thank you for having me, Deepali.
Also, always nice to have you around. All right, the next panelist I would like to introduce is Tumininu Samuel. She is a writer, a researcher, an advocate, and a JA Nigeria alumni. She has been passionate advocate for youth, women's health, and mental health. As a writer and a researcher, she uses storytelling and research to inspire young girls to believe in their potential and pursue their dreams, even with the challenges we have on the globe. She has participated in various programs at JA Nigeria, like the Lead Camp, the JA Company Program, I Am First Program, which has helped her to develop her leadership, creativity, and problem-solving skills. She has also volunteered with initiatives such as the United Nations Youth Mentorship Program, supporting young people through guidance, empowerment, and skill-building opportunities. Through her work and advocacy, Tumininu seeks to encourage the next generation of girls in Nigeria and beyond to grow, thrive, and lead. I like that all these women we have here are really supporting young women to thrive and lead, Good morning, Tumininu Samuel, and good to have you here. If you can hear me, can you?
Hi, good morning. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Last but not the least, we have Queen Achala Amarachuku, a Nigerian creative entrepreneur, furniture designer, content creator, and waste to wealth advocate for transforming tires into furniture. I mean, when I went through her business and what she does, I was wowed. She's the founder of Achala Furniture and Interior Design, a brand focused on crafting distinctive furniture pieces that blends creativity, culture, and modern design. Her journey into furniture began with a simple yet bold idea, one thing we always encourage at the GA Company program. Turning used tires into center table, a project that went viral and has inspired millions across social media. With a background in fine arts and applied arts, hands-on experience in upholstery and interior design, Queen Achala has built a reputation for originality, resilience, and innovation. Her work not only showcases design, but also encourages young people to see possibilities where others see limitations. Beyond her craft, she is passionate about helping young girls and aspiring creatives embrace their authenticity, take bold steps, build something meaningful from what they have. As an alumnus of Junior Achievement, she understands firsthand the impact of early exposure, mentorship, and self-belief. I mean, we always preach the gospel of learning by doing at one of our big flagship program, the GA Company program. And it's really amazing to see alumni doing so greatly in this regard. And today, Queen Achala has continued to create, teach, and inspire a new generation to think differently, act boldly, and bring their ideas to life. I mean, looking at her this morning, she really looks so bold. So, Queen Achala, good morning. I'm glad to have you here.
Morning,
Welcome.
thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, awesome. So, the first question I would like to ask is actually directed at you, Queen.
Okay.
So, the theme of this year's International Women's Day is Give to Gain.
Mhm.
And for this session, we have tagged it Give to Gain One Generation. So how does this theme resonate with you, both personally and professionally, looking at your journey?
All right. First of all, I'll start by saying that even the Bible says that givers never lack. So it's not just about like always looking forward to receive what you can get from people. There's this certain level of, well, I call it satisfaction that you get, or this certain level of, that you're impacting someone. That process of giving, it makes you feel whole. Because a lot of times, most times when you keep on receiving and receiving, it just has a way of keeping you small. But the fact that you can reciprocate that energy, impacting the younger generation, has a way of always keeping you full and giving you a sense of purpose. Because even recently, I went because I'm serving, so my POP is on the 31st, a few days from today.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so to round up my POP, I decided to go to a secondary school and I did like a project with them where I converted tires to a bookshelf and an outdoor seat. And that experience alone made me feel even though I was not gaining, let me say, monetarily or physically, but I just know I felt whole. Like seeing those young girls. I remember when I was in school and some core members come there and they are talking to I felt so whole in that moment. So I think give to gain is there's no way you can give from your heart that you won't even gain. It may not necessarily be physically, or it may not necessarily be for something that's entering your account or immediately, but there's this wholeness and there's this fulfillment that comes anytime you give, most especially to the younger girls. So yeah.
So that is amazing when you talk about how when you give, you just have this satisfaction, you feel this sense of completeness. I mean, that is a very, very profound thing because I believe if we go around the room now to ask everyone, they would have one or two experiences that made them feel that way, especially when you're working, when you hear it from your peers, or sometimes when you even hear it from even in your workplace, colleagues you work with. Sometimes when we give, it's not always quantitative. Sometimes it could be qualitative. It could be in the way that we handle our business, could be in the way we communicate, and others just see from that and they learn. And then that is also an aspect of giving, and it's very, very profound and sound to learn that in terms of giving, we don't have to always think of it in terms of quantity. it could also be qualitative. So thank you so much for shedding light on that. That is amazing. The next question I would like to ask is to my madam at the top, Madam Akosua. And I just want to ask, what gives you hope when you think about the next generation of female leaders? You deal with so many young girls from
Yes.
COI program to the lead camp, and you can see when the CEOs are coming to lead their team. What is that thing that gives you hope of the next generation? Because you work with them a lot.
Exactly what you said is what gives me hope. When we take them through the program and at the end of it have an opportunity to see them live in action. So an example will be during our National Company of the Year or our Regional Company of the Year competition. When you see these young girls stand on stage confidently in a room full of CEOs, even people that sometimes I am even a bit shy to talk to, stand on that stage and speak confidently and pitch their products after going through the JA training, being challenged, their design thinking skills, all that, and seeing that come to bear on that stage gives me hope. And Tuminino on the call gives me hope. I met Tuminino for the first time when she attended our regional girls lead camp last year in Accra, and she made such an impact on all of us when she was here on ground with us. And to see her today sitting on the panel with myself gives me a lot of hope that what we are doing as JA Africa is very important. What we are doing as JA Africa is impactful. And to see some of these young people already demonstrating some of the leadership skills, the networking skills that we have taken them through gives me hope that our girls have a future.
Absolutely. Is like we say in Nigeria, evidence day. You can see
Evidence.
you can see the evidence of the work we are putting in through. So it's just like I'll continue putting in more because I'm seeing what's
Exactly.
happening, and
Exactly.
that is awesome. Thank you so much for that wonderful response. Thank you. So to many know is like we're giving you more responsibility. Like we're really watching you. We're really hoping that whatever you're doing is inspiring more other girls as they're coming on board. So there's a lot more responsibilities to me. Now you know that people are looking up to you, not just the young girls or even those above, like Madam Akoso. So thank you so much, Akoso, for that response. Next question I would like to ask Mrs. Adora. From your experience, how does empowering one girl translate into transformation for a generation?
Like, one girl. I mean, remember this phrase, thanks, MJ. That phrase that says, if each one can reach one, you know, that is like a grassroots approach, to personal development, personal mentorship, where one individual is taking responsibility for helping or influencing yet another person. Okay. And that is where you then see that small individual actions create a whole global impact. And that's one girl being helped or empowered or saved, going on to save yet another girl. And that's how, that multiplier effect comes about. I mean, every woman was once a girl, and women are the carriers of generation. So this generation that you speak about, really and truly, are carried by women. So by empowering one girl, you're not just strengthening an individual. We hear this all the time. They say you're strengthening a family, you're strengthening a community, you're strengthening an entire ecosystem. And that is, the philosophy of the multiplier effect. Yeah, take for instance, the first daughters, this whole first daughter syndrome. You say, oh, this person's a first daughter. You can imagine the all of the expectations and hope that is placed on that first daughter. It's not really just first daughter, it's daughters. Either way, whether you're first or middle daughter, the impact that that girl child has on future and even past generation is undeniable. These days you hear people, before it was like, oh, mom, I have to have a male child. These days you are hearing things like, oh my God, I have to have my first child as a daughter. I want my first child to be a daughter. Because indeed, we come to the realization that empowering one girl, the multiplier effect, the ripple effect that it brings, it is so large. You can, I mean, I just digress a little bit. Some of you who have watched that movie that is all over social media, Monica, right? You know what I'm talking about. This is what that girl child is all about, right? I mean, you may have looked at it in a bad way, but look at the positives of that. Look at the sheer strength, the resilience, the focus, right? The entrepreneurial spirit of that girl child who was empowered. Why was she empowered? She just learned how to sew. Imagine that she didn't have that. So whether it is a secondary education, whether it is learning a trade, whether it's financial literacy, what any kind of empowerment that you give to a girl child, be sure that the effect and the impact will be felt for generations to come. That's just the simple way to put this.
Thank you so much for that remarkable response. Because when you mention ecosystem building, I just like the fact that even at our programs currently in Junior Achievement Nigeria, like the Set for Life program, that is what we are hoping to build. We are not just considering, okay, what can the impact of transforming the lives of individuals do, but we're also now looking at the ecosystem as a whole, because we believe that when there's a shift, there's a change within the ecosystem, then it escalates all the way up, it cascades to the entire person within the ecosystem. So it is wonderful to hear the experience. And recently it was Mother's Day, I think 2 weeks ago, and I saw a comment on social media where someone said, oh, they're just realizing that even their own mother, she was just a girl. And it's just giving them like more understanding of giving grace to the girl child, giving grace to women, now understanding all the roles and responsibilities that the women have to go through, and the expectations are now having, like maybe from you as a mother, the children are looking up to you, your family members are there in the office, there's expectation at work. So it's just stems how the importance of building the capacity of just one girl translates into the entire community, into the entire ecosystem. And that is such a wonderful response. And I just hope our community are listening and learning and understanding that when we talk about empowering of the girl child, talk about empowering of young women, we're not talking about just the individuals, we're looking at the entire ecosystem we're trying to build. And thank you so much for that wonderful response. I will come back to you now, Queen Achala. I hear from so many responses in the room, it's like there is a whole lot of hopes and aspirations of people looking up to you with all the work that you're doing. And it is amazing. But today I want to talk about your experience when you started this business. We've heard that you're still a club member, you're about to pass out from NYSC. And looking back, what was one opportunity that you say you received as a young girl that shaped who you are today?
That opportunity is right here.
I like the to start
Honestly.
with, like.
The opportunity was Junior Achievement. I don't even know how to overemphasize. I promise you, it was Junior Achievement. I can't even tell my success story without mentioning Junior Achievement. And I think that was how I think that was how you got to know me, right? From the recent interview I did with Afrimax, I had to mention Junior Achievement because it was the bedrock. It was life-changing. It was mind-blowing, everything for me. I felt like that particular 2016 lead camp was specifically for me. I don't know whether I don't know if they did, but it was just for me. And it changed a lot of things. I don't know, maybe if it was because while I was in the program, I also lost my dad. So going back, and my dad was like my number one cheerleader. And then going back, and the cheerleader is no more. I had to take all the information like very seriously, because my dad was, when I was like in secondary school, I do write like, my stuffs and write poems or speech I want to give in the assembly. But my secondary school were much, when they moved me from a private school to a government school, were so much. And I was like, am I sure I can actually speak to over 5,000 girls? My dad was like, yes, you can do it, but I'll tell him, okay, I'll give it tomorrow. I will not give it. So in the course of the whole junior achievement, and I know one of the speakers mentioned that every single thing that we've learned here today, that when we go back to school, we should get like a team of like 12 girls and try to reimpact that knowledge to them. I wrote it down. I was like, see my junior achievement book here. Proudly. This was what I used to jot down the whole, like.
I mean, from 2016.
Yes, 10 years today.
Akoso, you've made Akoso's entire year, I think, with just this one merchandise. I'm sure Akoso is
Honestly, anytime I feel some type of way, I go through this book. I jotted down everything. I remember all the speakers that came. It was mind blowing. But then when I came back and they were like, "Oh, speak to 12 girls, get a group," and I was like, "No, I'm not speaking to 12 girls. So I'm going to the whole assembly." And after I did that, a lot of the principals, a lot of people took note of me, and from there it was one stage to another. And most times when people encounter me, always like, oh, I like the way you speak. Oh, I like the way you do this. I like how you think. And if I'll be very honest with myself, in as much as, yes, I've always known that I've had that potential, that charisma, but junior achievement, like, made it boom. Like, that moment was like, there's no going back from here. Oh, ahead. And I think that's the platform that literally did it for me, because it was more of visioning. I have a lot to say. I don't know if you have a lot of time. During the 2016 lead camp, so we did our visioning and everything. So because when I was coming back from the camp, like I said, I lost my dad, so I had to go straight to the village from the airport. I was wondering what was I going to the village to do. But then so I was with my vision board and all of that. So I kept it in my room. I think last 2 years or last 3 years when I went back to the village, and I saw that mood board, that vision board, and I realized that almost everything that was on that picture, I've achieved it. And I was like, this is good. Honestly. So that's why I reached out to the achievement things, but they were not answering me. But I was like, I will not give up. Anytime people answer me, I must give back. And it made me, this is my second time going back to a secondary school to give back, because I know how important it is. I know I may not be speaking to everybody, but I know that there may just be one person, one girl that it can change the way she thinks. Like, I mean, we did not do anything with tires in junior achievement as a whole, but it broadened my creative horizon. It made me begin to think outside the box. Like, when I see things, I always ask myself, oh, can I do? I think this thing is not just tire, there's something else. This is not just chaff, there's something else. It just gave me that ability to be able to do things beyond what most people think. So that opportunity was Junior Achievement, and I'm going to say it again. Thank you so much, Junior Achievement Nigeria 2016 Lead Camp. It was amazing, and it was a wholesome experience for me. Yeah.
I mean, that is amazing and awesome to hear. We pray your that soul continue to rest in peace.
Amen.
Thank you. Learn about what Junior Achievement does. What I'm hearing is at Junior Achievements, we really work towards a mindset shift.
Exactly.
You said something so profound that is, you didn't learn about tires during company program, but it is the mindset change, the soft skill you got from it that you now translated it into a hard skill. And that is such an amazing thing. I would say, even for myself, when I started my first panel moderation session was at Junior Achievement Nigeria. And I've been in this career journey for 12 years.
Wow.
So it has also really helped. So even as a staff, I am also have shaped, my mindset also being shaped into, the soft skill, the creative thinking. I've been in the development sector, but this is one organization that I know you have to think outside the box. Like, you really have to think around, okay, how to make this work. And it's the curriculum that we have, the programs that we deliver, they might look simple on the outside, but when you look at the long-lasting impact and the effect that it has on people, I mean, I'm less than 1 year in the organization. I can't tell you how much that has changed and shaped me in my career. So it's really amazing to hear. Thank you so much for that response. Madam Akoso, I'm going to come back to you again. And I know currently at Junior Achievements Africa, we're driving the 10 Million African Girls campaign. And I want to ask you that from a regional perspective, you work with a regional office. Akosua is joining us live from Ghana, Accra, Ghana. And I want to ask, from a regional perspective, what will you say is JA Africa's secret to not only implementing, but sustaining great initiative like the 10 mark that empower girls to success?
Indipali, you want us to share company secrets with the world?
Well, we're trying to give, we're trying to give to gain, we're trying to give out to young women out there. Yeah, we have a lot of women leaders, even at G Africa, CEO, Mrs. Woman.
Yes,
So let's
yes,
just,
yes.
as much as we could give,
The secret sauce.
that would
I'll
be
share.
safe. Yeah.
I'll share. So I'll say it's less of a secret, but more of a structured approach that's anchored in a few core principles that I'll share. And for the benefit of those who don't know about our 10 Million African Girls initiative, it's a movement started by our CEO, Simi Wogugu, and the goal is to equip 10 million African girls with the skills, the confidence, opportunities to build thriving futures and also lead change in their communities. So we are moving away from just the individual girl to community as well, with the understanding that greatness is built in community. So in this initiative, we are combining real world learning, which is the young people going through our programs, and then combining it with mentorship and access to networks. And the target specifically is for girls between the ages of 13 to 25. Now, to the secret sauce, right, that makes initiatives like this very sustainable. I would say one of the major things that makes initiatives like this sustainable is an investment in the ecosystem that supports the programming. And in the power, you mentioned that earlier in your submission. So we've realized over the years that in implementing our programs, we work with different stakeholders. And for us, we've now positioned ourselves as an ecosystem leader, bringing together all these partners together in one place to ensure sustainability, because we realize that we cannot do it alone. I mean, our stronghold is in the curriculum, it's in implementing, it's in, thought leadership pieces and all that. But for these young people to thrive in the communities that they are in, there are other partners that you need to bring on board. The system needs to be friendly to them. So you need the government to support what you are doing. You need to transition them into dignified and fulfilling jobs. You need support from different employers to be able to connect the young people when they finish with our programs. For those who are on the entrepreneurship journey, we know access to finance is always a challenge. So you need people in that space to support you in the work that you're doing. So ecosystem building is key to sustainability. And then the second one is also designing for continuity and not just a one-off impact. So I'll go back to our Queen Achala, for example. We provided an intervention for her at a point, right, through the Girls Lead Camp. Now, what we've learned over the years since you participated in the camp or the last 10 years is that it's important for us to continue to provide interventions for you even after you leave the lead camp. So in the case of Tuminino, who participated last year, she was part of the first cohort that was inducted into the 10 million African girls community. And they are in a group together. And what we are doing is continually sharing opportunities, whether it's scholarship opportunities or whatever, and opportunities like this for her to come and speak on panels like this to share. All this is network building. All this is also building her capacity as well. So that's also another key thing that we've been looking at, creating a clear pathway from when they first interact with JA's programs up until they are economically empowered. And then the final one I would say is that we are very big on measuring and tracking our real outcomes. So it's whether tracking the increase in knowledge or the skills gained after going through our programs, or tracking the number of people who transition into work or entrepreneurship, so that there is evidence, right? And then it also helps us to get feedback and then helps us to improve the programming as well. So I'll say that these are the three key things: the ecosystem, designing for continuity, which is creating pathways, and then also measuring our impact. These are the things that help our initiatives, such as our 10 Million African Girls Initiative, to be sustainable.
Awesome. Thank you so much for at least sharing the one that wouldn't get you into trouble. And I mean, even hearing from Queen Achala saying she still has her notes from 2016 lead camp. I'm just thinking, this is such a good success story to take to Delta Airlines. I'm like, look, we need more sponsorship. I mean, look at the results we are producing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
This
And
is
we'll
10
bring
years
everything
later.
to the girls, hopefully in the future. Last year, we actually had one lady, well, now woman, she's a state commissioner in the Delta region, Honorable Orode. She participated over
Yeah,
20
I met
years.
her. Yes, I met her
Yes,
last month. It was such.
yes. She participated about 20 years ago, and now she's in governance. So we also provided the opportunity for her to come and speak to the girls as well.
I know that is what the Late Camp Leadership Program actually does, because when we're expanding all of our programs into Delta states, and once the commissioner, Mrs. already heard about it, she was like, no, immediately you're going to get the approval from Delta State, because I am an alumni. I know what that has done to me. Right now, I'm a commissioner, I'm leading, and I'm in governance and all of that. And so it's also one of the great success stories of the Lead Camp, the company program over the years, seeing how we are not just saying we're driving impact. The impact is there. Queen Achala is there. The commissioner is there. I mean, myself too, I am here. So it is really, really great to see. And like I said, we will probably take all these inspiration and go to Delta Airlines and be like, look, we need more sponsorship now, because we need to produce more of Queen Achalas out there across not just Nigeria, Africa, but across the globe entirely. So thank you so much for your response. I'm going to come back to you, Mrs. Adora. And the next question that I will like to ask you is, do we have Miss Adora still on the line? Okay. The question I would like to ask now is, for professionals and organizations that are watching us today, what does meaningful giving actually looks like beyond just writing checks? I mean, we know most organizations now, they have the whole CSR role and all of that, but with Access ARM Pension, we've been doing this for over 10 years. We've been on our board. So from your experience, what would you say is you would tell other professionals and other organizations that have joined us live that is actually what a meaningful giving should look like, not just beyond the money that is being given or the checks given out?
Okay, so take that from two perspectives. So an individual perspective, because some organizations are here, but the representatives of those organizations are individuals, right? And they're probably bosses, managers, and so on and so forth. So I take it from two perspectives, right? So we as bosses and managers, we talk about building capacity. We talk about intentionally providing visibility, mentorship, sponsorship, and the likes, right? The fact that we're doing all of this because, we want to advance not just our careers, but the careers of those that are coming after us. This really just makes our job easier. When you do all of that, it's making your job easier, right? So at the end of the day, while you are strengthening an ecosystem, the truth is that you are also amplifying, your own influence. So is it really charity when you're amplifying someone else or others? Perhaps not. What it is it's a form of strategic leadership, if you will, right? Because what we're doing as individuals is building and amassing leadership capital, so to speak. So for a leader, influence is a very valuable currency, right? And so there's a gain there. On the organization part, right, from the organization standpoint, rather than just writing checks, you have to, the core of this is to foster long-term sustainability, right? You're not just, you're strengthening the organization, you're strengthening individuals, you're strengthening, we've been talking about ecosystem for so long. There are a lot of interdependencies, and what you're doing is orchestrating within the broader ecosystem. While you're strengthening your staff internally, what you're doing with, partner with organizations like this, and being exposed to programs that empower the young generation. It helps us build a continuous culture of learning, right? That protects that entire organization or an entire ecosystem, an entire community from disruption. So that's what it is really about. When we're thinking about this, we shouldn't think about it in monetary terms, right? Look at what this lovely, lovely young lady Payne is in here. I mean, just an inspirational story. And if any organization is able to, I know that, we have sponsors for lead camp. In fact, that 2016 lead camp, I think that, my MD then was one of the speakers at that point. So I'm really grateful to just be witness to what those programs and those sacrifices are bringing today. And this multiplier effect that I keep talking about, you can see the outcome. So when you are doling out a check, it's much more than that. I work in the pension industry, and I say to my staff, especially those of them who are customer facing, that when you pick up a file to work on it and there's a number, there, you're not just moving a file from table A to table B so that it leaves you think that you have checked the boxes. What you're holding in your hand are futures, people's futures. It might mean that that individual requires his pension remittances for maybe a prosthetic leg, for maybe house rent, or to pay his way out of a debt, right? So when we think about our commitments in monetary terms, I think we're doing ourselves a disservice. It's definitely a disservice. And if we hope to strengthen and build resilience and build all of these influences, then we should really think about fostering long-term sustainability that, shields this ecosystem of growing young Nigerians from disruption. And that's the key takeaway for, representatives of organizations here present. It's a critical job that you do at Junior Achievement Nigeria, a typical example, I think there was in I believe it was 2018 or 2017 when we partnered with Junior Achievement for the campus tour. We did 2 sessions of campus tour. I think we went to about maybe 7 universities across the country. And there was a grant that was given, we sponsored that. But the feedback, that young man who won that grant went on to do great things. I think he won an international, more grants to go onto an international platform. And when he came back, he requested for an audience, with the executive management. And the words that he gave to us that day was profound. And he said, look, if you had not given me that leverage, I would not be able to have gotten to this level of exposure and the influence that I've been able, even in my community, what I have been able to do, I would not have had that. So thank you. And thank you on behalf of everybody that this project has touched. It wasn't just me, but it was a host of other people in a community. And it was very profound for us. And it just reinforced our belief that we're, on the right track. We're doing the right thing. And the impact is way beyond what we can see today. It's really not about how much you are doing, how much you put in your, budget for sustainability or whatever it is. It is the far-reaching impact that is beyond comprehension of any amount that you can put down on paper. Right. So that for me is the biggest takeaway for any organization sitting here and hoping to do things that are way greater than them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Adora. I mean, I like how you really took time to break this CSR experience and then what it means for organizations and seeing your impact and what you've given us at Junior Achievement. I think is really, really profound. A lot of times when it comes to CSR, it may sound like it's just writing the checks and getting it done for the year. But I like how you really took time to really explain how Access ARM has shaped features, and even giving examples of persons that you have impacted before and what you've seen, and it's really amazing. Thank you so much. Just want to quickly check. I think we have Tumininu back now. Tumininu, can you hear me? She had some network issues earlier.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. It's good to have you back. And I hope you've at least been able to follow through with the conversations we've been having. It's been so impactful. I have been learning a lot. Like, I have my own little book here so that I've been jotting a whole lot of learning points from this. So I would like to quickly ask so can you share your JAN experience and how that's changed your trajectory?
Okay, so before I joined the J Nigeria company program, I had ideas. In fact, a lot of ideas. But most of the time, I used to think they were not worth trying out. And a little backdrop is the Junior Achievement Company program usually starts from senior secondary school 1. But I was pushed into it, I think, in JSS 2. So from the start, I didn't really get the whole idea, but I just joined because I was pushed into it. And I think something we don't talk about enough is that the company program puts me in a room with other young people who thought their idea was the right one. So coming up with an idea, we all had to put aside differences, we had arguments, we all had to put aside all the problems we had with each other. There were people that didn't like each other. There were ideas that we thought was too much, some too little, and honestly, it included a lot of fighting. But one thing it taught me, and even though I've now grown out of the company program, one thing I still carry with me is that it has taught me the importance of teamwork and the ability to adapt. Because there were a lot of times when I had to sit with discomfort. I had to, sometimes my ideas had to be put aside and other people's ideas had to be taken up. So it has taught me that life does not always give you the best situations or the best circumstances, but we usually have to make the best out of it. And sometimes things don't always need to be perfect. But when we keep trying, because junior achievement, the company program taught me that most of our ideas were not perfect. We didn't have the things we needed at the right time. But because we kept trying, it gave us the opportunity to be able to tell others that, oh, it wasn't easy. And it's a lesson I've learned even till now, because I'm not where I want to be right now. I've not achieved everything I want right now. But I've always learned that every time I keep going, it's a continuation of the lessons I learned during the company program, and it's me in a way making my teammates proud, because we all had expectations for each other then, and we are still carrying the expectations together now, even when we are no longer together in the same space.
All right. Thank you so much, Tumini, for that. And there was one thing you said when the company program started in your school. You said you were pushed to it. So as the interns, you didn't, at that age, at that time, you probably didn't see, oh, why am I adding this to my already heavy load of academics? Why am I doing more? But then teamwork, you learned from your peers, you learned from your group, and you saw the importance. And that is one, in that, we can already see the concept of how the other team members gave to you. And that has allowed you to gain a lot. So you can still see the concept of the gift again coming into play here. And we are really glad that you could share this story here today to inspire other young girls out there in schools where we are, because we have some students joining us, right? In schools where we are coming to say, okay, come and join the company program, and they feel like, this is too much work. I remember during the COI, so the CEOs, when they're making their presentation, they said, oh, that was a lot of work they had to do. It was like, I'm too young to be stressed like this. Why am I starting business at this age? Where am I trying to, but then the lasting impact it has, and even the immediate outcomes from the program, it cannot be overemphasized. So thank you so much for sharing your experience here today. We have a question that's coming, and I'll direct that question to you, Akosua, based on your experience in this field. And the question says, if you had limited resources but want to empower one girl in your community, what should be the most impactful first step that you're going to take? If you have a limited resource, but you want to empower just one girl in your community, what should be the most impactful first step to take? And this is coming from Sarah Joel Saifulai from our YouTube channel.
So a very good first step would be to understand exactly what the girls need. I think that a lot of times, and even as NGOs, we can be guilty of that. We assume we know what the young people need, right? Sometimes, I think recently, I don't know where I heard it, but there was a conversation where someone said in some of the underserved communities, there is sometimes an assumption that what they need is sanitary pads. But then what it could be is that they need they are stressed at home because they are caregivers for their mothers, other kids, and all that at home, and so are not able to come to school. But because you have assumed that because of where they are coming from, what they need is sanitary pads, we go ahead and we share sanitary pads. So a very good first step for me will be to understand exactly what the needs are and then provide the right intervention for the girls. That would be a good first step for me.
Thank you so much. And that is why in our programs, we always say we start with a baseline assessment. And we're also implementing programs as project leads, monitoring the program and making changes as we proceed, as we learn from it is really, really important. And I hope that has given you a good response to that question. I see Queen Achala wants to add to it. So Queen. Queen, do you have an addition to the response that Akosua had given? We can't hear you. You're muted.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I wanted to add something to what she said because this particular question was the story of my life. And I just answered this question like the interview I did last year. So I don't know if I'm correct, but from the question, you said if you have limited resources, that what should be the first thing, something like that, right?
Yes, to empower just one girl in the community.
Just one girl, exactly. So the first thing that cannot be taken away from anybody is knowledge. Your mouth. Like I know right now, like I said, I'm not at the position where I want to be, but I know a lot of girls that look up to me, and I know people that always call me on the phone. And anytime they are done having a conversation, they're like, "Thank you so much. I feel so much better. Thank you so much." Like just yesterday, I had a conversation with one of my friends, and she was like that she quit her business and stuff like that. And then she just saw my post, started to message me, and she was like, she wanted to know if I can. And then I gave her that. Like I spoke to her and made her feel that you need to get which one is because of you lost your phone, you lost your this, and so you don't have your resources anymore. I think the first thing is the knowledge. As long as you have your words in your mouth, as long as you have whatever it is in your head, and you have just one girl to impact to, you don't need to know exactly have money or have what. As long as you have those right words, that's you have the steps to show these people. Just do this. Start with whatever it is that you have. Because one problem I would like to point out is a lot of people, when they say, I don't have the resources, what comes to their head is perfectionism. Oh, glam, it has to be perfect. That's what they said, I don't have the resources. I'm a Christian, so I'm going to actually put this part in. Like Psalm 23 said, the Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. I remember when I wanted to start my content creation journey and I was like, my phone is not good though. Hey, I don't have good light though. I don't have. My friend was like, what do you mean? Your phone is okay. No, this thing is, and I started realizing that what I was looking for at that moment was not, it's not that I did not have the resources though. It was just that I was looking at Nancy Sime. I was looking at all those people, and then it made me feel like I did not have, I have the resources. Exactly. So all you need to do is just look within. You do have the resources for where you are at that moment. I don't think that God will give you an idea or bring it to a point and then he will leave you there. The problem is maybe you're beginning to look, oh, I think I don't have this particular phone that this girl has. Oh, look at her background. I don't have this. No. What is it that you have? You have something, and I'm so sure of it. I don't know who asked that question, but I'm sure that you have something that you should start with. Even if it's your books, even if it is borrowing whatever it is. Like there was somebody I said, when I started, because the first table I made was from cartons. I just know I do have ideas a lot. And anytime these ideas come to my head, I cannot just stay. I must do it. So I went to the market. I just finished secondary school. I did not have money. I went and borrowing carton. First day I went, I borrowed carton that was not enough. I borrowed, I went again. Because I was free. I borrowed all the carton, finished. Then it got to time where I needed to buy the foam and the materials. I did not have the money. But I was like, if I stay at home now, there will be problem. Like I won't be doing anything. I went to the market without money, and I got there and started calling my mommy. I called. There was a Reverend Father Padre. God bless him. So I called. I was like, "Ah, Padre, I'm in the market too. There's something I want to make. Please, can you help me with 5,000, with 10,000?" And I promise you, if you've started impacting those knowledge in yourself and you started doing with the little you have, there's no way that you can now call people and they will not want to help you. Because I mean, you showed them you have a track record. These people have obviously seen, oh, okay, she made an artwork from this, I actually painted this artwork, you made this from that, and you're in the market and you're telling them that, please, I want this. They'll be like, okay, I believe that what you're going to do is going to make sense. And then when I made the chair stayed in my house for almost 5 years. So it was from carton, so gradually with time it started tearing off. But in that moment, because they've seen other things that I've done, they were able to support me. So to whoever it is that asks that question, I'll tell you that you have everything you need. Just look within. Even if you feel that, okay, you just still have phone, you don't have anything, you have books. Look around you, go online. Data is one of the, it's not so cheap, but I know that a lot of young people, if they don't have data for anything, they have data for TikTok. You see what they're always on TikTok. So use that data and go on YouTube and watch videos. Use that time and get the small, just start small. And that is all I have to say. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that is even one thing, even through the company program at JA, that we encourage. As much as we give a team each year to guide the business you are creating, we always say, look within the immediate community.
Exactly.
I mean, the simple idea of starting a business as a young woman, as a young girl is, as an individual, is even like, I identify a problem, I create a solution for it, and I make income for my own economic empowerment, for my own stability. That is just the basics of it. And that is one thing we also always encourage in the company program. And I'm glad to see that our success story is here in front of us, telling us, it started small, started without even having money. So thank you so much. I would just want to, before you go off, Achala, and also because you really responded with so much fire, I don't want that fire to die down. So I'll just ask you as a closing remark right now that what would you say you have learned from this session today, and what will you do differently, or what would you do new with all the conversation you've had around from the opening remarks, experiences that others have shared, to the impacts from Access ARM as a corporate partner to what we do at G Africa? What would you say that this discussion has taught you and you will use differently going forward?
Okay, this section was really inspiring. First of all, there's something Ms. Adora said. She said that whenever they want to pass a document, she doesn't just want them to rush and pass it, that you need to understand that this is somebody's future. And that particular statement actually stuck with me. I was like, that means any single thing you're doing, let me say now in my aspect of interior design, I need to understand this is where somebody is going to stay. You don't just need to do it because, you just want to do it and move. No, it made me understand. It's not like maybe I probably did not know before, but it just stuck with me that you have to calm down and understand that this is, for you, it may not be something you want to use for a long time, but for that person that has that file, for that person that gave you that stuff, that money, that job, this is that person's future. I need to treat it as such, because I'm sure you wouldn't want anybody to treat your own any less. And then Mrs. Akoswa, I'm so happy to actually see her. I didn't even know she is part of the board for Junior Achievement. So she said a lot of inspiring things. The fact that, they always want to hear the problems of the young girls, which what she said is very true, because a lot of times you can imagine that, I think your problem is that you need to go to school or you need to do this. But in that person's mind, that is not exactly the immediate problem, because everybody is different and our callings are different. But one thing is just to make sure that your own calling is unique to you and you're doing your best in the way it is. And seeing, I think, to Minuni, right? Seeing her right here and just knowing that she's an immediate, what would I call it? She's just an immediate
alumni,
yeah, of Junior Achievement actually makes me very happy, because I wish that as soon as I was done, I had the opportunity to get on a meeting like this. So it was truly inspiring, and I'm going to take all of these words and just keep pushing forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And now that you've mentioned to me, and we are glad our network is good, I just want her to touch as a closing remark as well, to just give us a little output from the lead camp she just attended, what she learned, what she should do differently. Just talk about the journey of you being in lead camp and so many new, and then learning from all these conversations we had today now at these sessions, what are the key learning points for you? So many, did you get that?
So the journey to lead camp, I'm going to say it's one of the life-changing journeys I've had, because so this time last year I just got from lead camp, and I was just trying to get my life back in a very straight line. And I think one of the most important things I'm going to say is, after lead camp, my life did not become perfect. It did not become the kind of Instagram I've made it kind of life. No. But it lead camp gave me things that till now they are one of the most important pillars I still stand by. And one of them are people. I gained a huge family, because the girls that I went to lead camp with, some of them are no longer in Africa, some of them are still in their respective countries, some of them are in university. But one of the things that has kept us together is remembering that we all have expectations for each other, we all have visions, we all have dreams. And in the space of a year, I've seen various people change career paths from coming back from lead camp, and I also did. Before I went to lead camp, I I loved tech, but then because let's just say I wanted to satisfy people's expectations of myself, I wanted to go into healthcare. And I remember talking, one of the key things we learned in lead camp was that as a woman in tech and as a woman in STEM, you can excel. So yes, the the statistics for women in STEM are now growing, but there are still parts of tech where men are still higher in number than women. And one of the things it taught me was, lead camp taught was, you can excel exemplarily in that particular sector. And so when I got back home, I remember me thinking it through. Do I really want to be in healthcare, or do I want to go to tech and be a force to reckon in that sector? And about 6 months after I finished my final exams, I decided to make that big change of leaving the healthcare sector behind and then going fully into tech. So before I wanted to go just into mainly healthcare, but then I decided to go fully into tech, but into a particular course that is going to help me bridge healthcare and sector. So lead camp did a lot, and it also taught that resilience is one of the biggest qualities you are going to have to get, because as I said earlier, I'm not in the space I envisaged myself to be in. But then I always remember that a quote from one of the girls, she's from Zambia, and she would always say, if you are still alive and you still have dreams, you still have visions, nothing can take your dreams away from you. No man, no force, no circumstance can take your dream away from you. And it has taught me that wherever you are, whatever you are doing, hold you up when you want to give up. Because there are a lot of times when I've wanted to give up, but these same people are the ones that always remind me that going to lead camp, I learned a lot, and my dreams can't die, because even when they seem like, oh, I want to give up, these girls are always there to tell me, oh no, you can't, these dreams can't die like this. You always have to take it up, you always have to live your dreams. And they always tell me, I want to see you in the next 20 years in this particular sector, I want to see you in the next 20 years doing this. So lead camp is more than just a camp. It is something that you will always take with you for the rest of your life, because it will give you family, it will give you a clear definition of what you want to be. It will give you people to look up to, people that even in their presence. For example, the women that mentored us in the lead camp, the likes of Miss Akos, even in their absence, there's this push that they kind of give us, their words give us this particular push to always live up to your dreams, knowing that whatever we become is going to always make them proud. And just as she said, seeing the success of others, of us, during this entire thing is actually going to make things better.
Okay, we lost Teminu a bit, and I think she might be having a talk challenge. And I'm hearing her talking about wanting to really thrive in the tech industry. So we're looking forward to Teminu coming to create a business that solves these network issues. And thank you so much for that closing remark. I would like to take another closing remark just from let me start with you, Akosua. If everyone listening today could take just one concrete action from this webinar, what would it be? I would also like you to answer this alongside another question we have from the audience, from Lucy Inyang, who says, as you all know, counseling is very important, especially for young girls. Is there room for counseling education for young girls at any part of our programs? I believe she's referring to our programs at Junior Achievement Nigeria and Junior Achievement Africa, apart from just empowering them. So if you can respond to that question alongside the closing remark of what is that one concrete action that you want everyone listening today to take from this webinar?
Sure, thank you. To respond to the question, yes, we do, in twofold. Mental health is incorporated in some aspects of our programming. And so young people who go through the program get the opportunity to receive that support. Then also through our safeguarding practices and policies, which provide safe spaces for young people to be able to talk about their issues. And depending on what it is, we can then link them to the relevant parties to support them. Now, to one actionable item I want to go out everybody to go away with. It will be to join the 10 million African girls movement and campaign. Maybe after this call, when we are sharing the recording, we can send a link to it. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we need the support of everybody. It's an ecosystem of different stakeholders that we need to make this successes. And why we need you on board is because of three things, three different quotes that come into mind. It also stems from what Adora said at the beginning about having sponsors, right? Opening the door for other people to come in. And the importance of doing that for young girls. So recently, during the lead camp, we had to do some video shout outs to our digital assistant, Deborah. And one of the things she was asking us was to use one word that comes to mind when you talk about who a woman is. And for me, what came to mind was multiplier, because whatever you give to the woman, it is multiplied. Then there's also another quote attributed, famous quote attributed to a Ghanaian scholar and educator, Dr. Kweji Agri, who said that if you educate a man, you educate an individual. However, if you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation. So educate is empowering, sharing knowledge, giving to women. That is what you get. And then the final one would be a personal story. So when I finished with university and I was looking out to do my national service, what you call NYSC in Nigeria, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just said I'll just wait. Wherever I'm posted, I will go and do it. However, I'm in a choir back at home, and our choir director at the time just reached out to me one day after church and said, "Are you interested in working in the UN?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Okay, bring in an application." And so I ended up doing my national service at the UN, and that's what opened the door to the NGO world, to the development world to me. Why did that happen? Because one person saw the opportunity, gave it to me. Why did that happen? Because she empowered me, and then now I'm empowering other people. Then the final one will be, if you look at our logos, both J Nigeria and J Africa logos, you see that it's in the form of a triangle. But if you look at it very carefully, you'd see that it consists of kites. What it means, flying kites. And we always say that the one at the top is that one person that you empower. And that one person goes ahead to empower 5 other people. Right? So look at that one person as that woman. And Kweji Agri's quote coming into play. You've educated her, she educates a nation. 5 more people. These 5 people also empower other people. One person opened the door for me. Today I sit on a panel empowering young people. I sit in the office designing sustainable programs that empower other female girls. And you can do that by supporting our 10 million African girls. Support it with funding, support it with whatever it is in your sector that will be relevant to the young girls. Come to the good side. We are waiting for you.
Exactly. Come to the good side. I mean, I feel like I joined GA late in my career, but then never less than never. I am here now. And I share a similar experience in terms of starting, NYSC as well with such profound organizations. And that is good. Thank you so much for throwing light on that. Akoso, and thank you so much for all the responses you've given us, all the insightful, qualitative response we've gotten from everyone. It's been amazing. So to round up, we'll get our last remarks from Mrs. Adora Ude. Especially looking at the corporate organization you are at, we know that Access ERM has continuously given us support, not just serving as our board, but in terms of CSR, in terms of whenever we knock the doors for programs like this, there's always someone that could come and support. And it's been very, very impactful. But I just want to ask as a closing remarks on everything that we've learned, hearing from the journeys of people. I mean, as a partner or as a sponsor, the donor, I'm sure hearing from Queen Achala, hearing from Tumininu, you can already see what your money has been doing, what your check has been doing. So what are your closing remarks in terms of what you've learned from here and what we'll probably expect differently from Access ARM pensions this year and the year beyond?
Thank you, MJ, for that. When I was listening to the young ladies, I can say that my heart was full. Okay? My heart was full, and one thing that just stuck in my head is that there is hope for this generation. Right? This one thing that really stuck out for me is there is hope for this generation. Look at what Queen Achala has been able to do. While she was speaking, I quickly went to her social media page to have a look, and what an amazing talent she has. And what Junior Achievement has been able to do here is sustainable intervention, which is fantastic. And that's what we're looking forward to. You meet these young girls and impact at a very critical stage. That particular, this late camp, that's the age that's the most impressionable. For me, that is the bedrock of launching into whoever it is that you are going to be. If you miss that stage, chances are that the person will struggle to come back again or may miss it entirely. And that's why it is very, very important and very applaudable what Junior Achievement is doing for these young people. I mean, you're building impact and you're making that impact sustainable. When Tumini was speaking, I could just imagine, right, that this was my own child who has gotten to this level of realization and this level of can-do spirit. And, accountability is key. We as grown adults and as executives in our workplaces, somebody mentioned one thing that has kept her going and one thing that's kept her sane, even as, an executive in this organization, and it was having accountability partners. And you can imagine that somebody this young at this level has been open to that kind of opportunity, that leverage of having something like an accountability partner all over the world, holding your hands, ensuring that you don't give up, ensuring that you bring yourself to the table each and every time, ensuring that you are bettering yourself. Because guess what? When she gets to that point, she'll remember that somebody held her hand. Somebody made her accountable. She was able to achieve that. And while she's going, she is definitely going to drag a chair along with her for someone else to sit in it. That's what this has taught me. That's exactly what I'm hearing from all of these conversations that we keep having again and again. So my final word, and not to the organizations. Now, look, the organizations that are, you better take the bold step. You better take the bold step, because what this is right here is beyond measure. You cannot go and say, what is the return on investment for this our spend? Sometimes for us, it's all about budget, numbers. The finance person is saying, how much are we spending? Sometimes this value is, you cannot quantify it. So don't think about the money that you are spending today. Think about the lives that you are empowering tomorrow. Think about the broader picture of what these individuals are doing. And to every young girl, my final word to you: you are not alone. There's a community. You are not alone. And that's something that Tuminini's words struck. You're not alone. And you can be more. So, taken from these two young ladies today, these are the things that are going away with me from this conversation. I'm so proud of what they have been able to achieve. I'm so proud that they keep showing up and they're resilient. That resilience is required. You continue to show up again and again and again. And that is what makes that seat worth it. It means that you have earned it. You have showed up again and you have every right to be there. So thank you so much for your achievement. This will be really my final word. Honestly, I'm overwhelmed and I'm grateful and I'm humbled by all of the conversations that we've had today and the glaring impact that this program has had. But not just this women here, but a host of others that we haven't brought, to the screen. So thank you very much. We will definitely be on this journey for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adora. And a huge thank you to all our panelists, Akosua Esomen. Please give them a round of applause. Queen Achala, I love the energy and the fire that she came with. So many know the network notwithstanding, you came and still allowed us to learn through your lens, through your eyes. Thank you all so much for your wonderful contributions. And our lovely audience out there at YouTube, you stayed with us. We exceeded a little bit beyond our time schedule, but you still stuck with us. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Junior Achievement is here, and we've been here, and we're still going to be here. We're driving impact, we're thriving communities, and especially in Nigeria this year, we have so many programs that has already kickstarted, like in this quarter. We have the Set for Life program that is trying to transition the senior secondary school students into the workforce, into the tertiary education, because I recall when Queen was speaking and she said how there's not everyone that wants to go to the classroom. Some just wants to focus on the business. And that's one thing that Set for Life is doing, is looking at the two pathways of being gainfully employed, either through the employability pathway or through the entrepreneurship pathway. So you can see that in our program designs, we are very much in tune with the reality that exists within our ecosystem. We have the programs that we have, like the Chatching for students in primary schools. We have the Be Entrepreneurial that we are partnering with NLNG on that. We have the Be Internet Awesome that we are kickstarting very soon. We have the flagship program, the GA Company program, and so many others. And I see comments from the YouTube asking, when are you coming to this state? When are you coming to this state? And we are expanding. We are expanding our reach. For instance, the Set for Life program last year, we had only worked in 21 states. And this year, we are reaching 30 states, going to the deep corners, looking at the marginalized group, the vulnerable communities, the intern displaced persons, the refugees, the persons living with disabilities. So we will soon be at a community near you. So just look out for us. And please do not forget to follow us on all our socials to keep up to date with all our opportunities within organizations, because our voluntary network is so huge. You've heard Queen Achala mentioned how she has volunteered before, and that is how big our community has been. So to keep up to date with the programs that we are having, when we're expanding into states, when we have amazing sessions like this, please follow us on all our social media platforms that is being displayed right now on the screen. On Instagram, GA Nigeria, on Facebook, on X, formerly Twitter, on LinkedIn. We are Junior Achievement Nigeria. So please follow us on all our socials to keep up to date with all the wonderful programs we're doing and all the opportunities that exist. Because if one thing I'll tell you about Junior Achievement Nigeria is there's an opportunity almost every month. There is a call for volunteering, which includes some little stipends. There is a call for this, there's a call for that. So please, to ensure you don't miss out on every opportunity we have, on all the information we're doing, on the wonderful partnership we have across board, please follow us on all our social media platforms that has been displayed right now. Thank you all so much. Thank you to the wonderful women leaders, colleagues who have stayed on the call. As women, we are not just stopping in the month of March. We're giving to gain continuously. And we're doing it starting with one girl, empowering one generation. Like Akoso has explained the logo of Junior Achievements. It's starting from 1 person to 2 to 3 to 5 to 10 million African girls. And we will not stop there. I'm sure by the time we get 10 million African girls, our CEO will say, nah, let's do 100 million, because we are always aiming big like that. So thank you all so much for joining. Thank you so much, our panelists, for your time and contributions, and have a lovely day ahead. I'll end by still saying happy Thursday. Bye for now. Thank you.
I started school with other girls, but then now they are married. My name is Laurie Tijani. My story began in Kano State. We moved to Lagos State. When I moved to Lagos, I was living with my parents. My parents couldn't afford my school fees, and then I couldn't go to school. I was just at home helping my mom. In 2009, I started schooling, homeschool in James Preparatory Mission School. I got to have opportunity to meet some students from RIS, Redeemers International Secondary School. They came, they brought books, food, and everything for us. And then they were like, okay, I should lead them to my community. And from there, I think that's when I started having interest in RIS. Mrs. Buckley was like, are you interested in being one of the students in RIS? I was like, yes, just like that. I got into Redeemers International Secondary School on scholarship, sponsorship. I started in Redeemers from JS1. And then from there, I met Mr. Ogona during the entrepreneurship, the business we started with other students in SS2. Yes. That's the first time I met him. And then the second time was during my application to African Leadership University. The first time when Mrs. Bankole told me, oh, which university do you want to go to? I was just looking at her. I was like, why is she asking me this question? Am I even allowed to go to university? Because the kind of community I come from, many girls don't have that kind of opportunity. I started school with other girls, but then now they are married. She spoke to Mr. Ugona, and he was like, I can apply to African Leadership University. That's how I got access to ALU. The process was tough, but I feel like because of the person I had, Mr. Achibe, it was kind of easier for me to get in. Mr. Agora has played a lot of roles in my life, in my growth, in my journey, because it's through his access that I got the African Leadership Scholarship. It's through his access that I was able to attend the Lead Camp 2022. There are so many things I learned there that I've never came across. One of the things is like vision board. Yes, that's my first time hearing vision board. So we still have hopes for Girls Child, and seeing how non-government organization and other society are evolving. Girls' child are getting more access to education. To every girl out there, it is not too late to achieve your dreams. And it is not too late to start something. You can learn a skill, or you can even start a little business in that place you are. The little steps, that's what counts to the bigger ones.
My journey from Nigeria to Ghana was quite exciting, and it was relatively smooth. We traveled by air, so it didn't take too long. And as we arrived in Ghana, we were warmly welcomed by the project organizers.
My name is Hawa Abdullah Suleiman. I'm also from Nigeria. I'm looking forward to a splendid and amazing time with you all of learning new things. Thank you.
So before arriving in Ghana, I anticipated engaging with girls from different countries, and I hope to gain insights, skills, and just acquire more from everyone. My experience after meeting different girls from different countries was quite enriching. I was amazed and dazzled by the diversity in the cultures and perspective among everyone, like the way they speak their languages, and we also had an opportunity to learn how to greet in different languages. Things like passion for making positive impacts, personal growth, and driving change was a common value among all the participants. Adapting did present some challenges, and one major one was their food. I wasn't quite used to their type of cuisine, but I kind of found an alternative that suits my preferences. By interacting with different girls from various countries, I've come to understand that Africa have a lot of capable and outstanding women like myself that are capable of becoming great leaders. They just need to have like a little push and be aware of their potentials. So I think these programs like Delta Airlines, Delta Regional Lead Camp for Girls is one of these programs that can push them and make them aware of their potentials. So thank you, Junior Achievement Africa. Thank you, Delta Airlines.